All right, we're going to talk now further in a Fish and Barrel series where you should be using video case stories, not testimonials. You know, I might have said video testimonials. We use that for SEO because that's what everyone's looking for. How to use video testimonials on a website. This is the third most used page on the website. And in general, I'm generalizing this. It's going to change, but in general, I've looked at thousands of websites, their analytics, and in general, this is the third most used page. And why is it important if it's the third most used page? Well, people are going to go to a ton of pages on your website. The homepage is a landing page, but they're going to go through your website. The next two pages that we're going to talk about, this one and the second most used page, are going to be ones that are closer to someone taking action with you. And we want to spend time on it. And most likely, you might not even have this page on your website, and I suggest getting one. And the way we found out about it was, we're always studying what's going on websites, how people are using websites, what questions people are asking. And what we start to do when we were doing some healthcare websites for a complex healthcare service, everyone was asking, how does it work? What happens next? What do you do? And this seems like a simple question, especially if let's say you are pretty streamlined in your process and you got this down. You've been doing this for 10 years and you're like, I've got it. But what is your process? And you might think, hey, Ian, that's really a simple thing, but most people don't know it. And here's the huge opportunity in having a process page. When you get people to watch your process, you do a few things. Number one, they start to see themselves in the process. This is something called future pacing, right? When we start to see ourselves doing something, we're most likely going to take action. Imagine yourself going to the gym tomorrow, walking through that door, taking the action and feeling great. You're much more likely to do it. And when you make a video about this process, you're more likely to do it. You stack case stories on top of it and sprinkle in the case stories about the process. You're more likely to do it. And that's probably one of the most powerful pieces. The next most powerful piece is you get to own the process. If your competition doesn't have a process page and a process video that's super clear, super differentiating, which video case stories will help because they'll talk about each step in the process, what happens? You have it, and then they go to a competitor's website and they don't have a process page. They've watched your video. They've heard the stories about your process and how great it is. They're now going to compare all of your competition to this. So the third reason that process videos and process pages are so important is because it overcomes that last objection. Someone's ready to move forward. And it's last to second to last. On a website, it's second to last. We'll talk about that next. But in general, they're like, if someone asks you, hey, how does this work? They're ready to sign up, right? They're ready to sign up. And if you've already done this on a website, you should do this several times, explain how it's going to work. They're ready to sign up, but there's still this mystery of what's going to happen on the other side. And people don't want the mystery. They want to know exactly what's going to happen, how much time will it take, who am I going to talk to, what are the next steps. And that's why having a process page is so important. And we put heat maps on the websites, and we saw that this was quickly becoming the second or third most used clicked on button on a website. And you'll find that. And that's a really powerful place. And now, where do video case stories come in this? Well, yes, we want to talk about the outcome. But we want to talk about that experience of working with you. What's it like to walk through that door? What's it like to first meet the team? How did you feel? When were your first big wins? Because there's the big win that someone has, but what are the big wins along the way? And especially that onboarding. And what this will do, and we'll talk about further, a 5% increase in customer satisfaction. Now we're closing more deals. We have happier customers. 5% increase in customer satisfaction will lead to a 25 to 100% increase in profits. Think about that for a second. Because you're going to have happier clients. They understand what's going on. They're more likely to refer to you. They understand the process. They understand where they are in the process. And then you have people talking about that and reassuring them. So there's that social proof and talking about that process too. And even talking about where maybe some of the hurdles were. Side note, when you do case story interviews at this point, you'll also discover ways to improve your process. And things like EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System, process is everything. And they sell with it. You need to be increasing and improving and clarifying your process and weaving in case stories and listening to them. So let's talk a little bit about the format that we want. We probably want a process video with case stories woven into it of how it works, what happens next. That's one way. We'll want case stories, some micro content pieces just speaking about the process. I love the process. And especially if you have a team, talking about your team and how great the team is, because it makes the handoff better. Selling your team, selling the process. So those could be some shorter versions. The process videos generally, I think 7-8 minutes I've found, and people will watch that. But then you can have interspersed micro content pieces like, oh, this was the most surprising thing about the process. This was my big aha pieces. So sub 60-second versions can go on there. Once again, YouTube is a great platform for this. You might even want to embed some YouTube shorts in there because they're designed for that. Make it eye-catching. The other part that you can do is you can have embed on something like Vimeo, which is a great player. We've talked about it, or some of the other players out there, and have more control, more analytics around this. But either way, get started today. Start interviewing your clients about your process. It will help to improve your process, help to sell your process, help to future pace your clients, convert more, increase profits. Oh, in the next video, we're going to talk about the second most used page on your website and how to use video case stories to optimize it.